We are going to talk sports gambling. It's been a big week, new legislation that my next guest is part of. She is Senator Karla Bigham. She represents Minnesota District 54 in the Minnesota Senate. And Karla, I'm so looking forward to talking with you. Senator Bigham, bring people up to speed on your bill.
Sure. Thank you for having me this morning, too. Essentially what we need to do is Minnesota needs to join the other 27 territories, so it's 25 states plus Puerto Rico and D.C., to legalize sports betting. People are sick of going to Iowa. South Dakota has now passed it. And so the market is really driving this for us to make the move as a state. And so it's really just time. It's been going on for quite a while, and we need to put some serious effort behind it, and that's the intent of the bill. Simply put, the bill allows for on-site sports wagering at casinos and the racetrack, and then after a year, mobile sports wagering would be allowed through the casinos only. So you'd have to go into Treasure Island, sign up, your account, put your money on your account, and then you'd be able to do remote from wherever you are in Minnesota. But that would only be allowed through the casinos. We do put the revenue in the general fund, so we don't parse it out as maybe you've seen in legalization of marijuana legislation. We put it all in the general fund. 0.5 or 1% goes to problem gambling. And then we tax it at two different rates. For on-site, it would be 6%. For mobile, it would be 8%. So we have a very favorable tax rate in the proposal as well. So, hopefully we get some traction on this and give people a seat at the table that want to see this legalized, such as myself and Representative Garofalo. And I really want to thank him for partnering with me on this. He's been an advocate himself ever since he's been in legislature. And so he brings a wealth of knowledge to this. And really, for the last 6 months or so, I have been researching and writing the legislation. So I'm excited that people are excited.
Well, Senator Bigham, what I'm excited about is that, first of all, it's a bipartisan bill. So You've thought through some things together. There are, gaps that each of you can help fill by co-sponsoring. But what I'm also understanding is leadership from both sides and the Indian Gaming Commission not too excited about this bill. So what can you tell us about that response? And do you think that all will be, those will be big hurdles?
Sure. So I've seen the statements, but I have not had any conversations with MIGA at all. There's no official meetings that have been had about this. So my hope right now is that people will take a moment to read the legislation and process it, bring it back to business agents in the entities, both in the tribes, but in the racetracks. And, the leagues are going to have to take a look at this too. NCAA will want to take a look at it too. And then you have different organizations, FanDuel, DraftKings, and a lot of other places that are going to want to look at this legislation and run the analytics of it. That's what I hope happens. My goal of the legislation was to keep people at the table, not have people say, nope, not going to do this and run off and not want to participate in the discussion. And to be honest, that actually hasn't happened. And so I think it's working. Let's, I'm giving it a little bit of time here to let people do just that. And then let's have some conversations and really dive in and see if we can't get this done this session.
We are talking with Senator Karla Bigham from Minnesota's District 54. If you have any questions for her, give us a call or a text, 651-989-9226. What I think is also very interesting, as you pointed out, 25 states, 2 territories already have this. So it's not some new thing. You've got a lot of models you can look around at and maybe even find out what's working, what's not.
Yes, that's exactly what I did. And there's an organization, National Conference of Gaming States, and they've kind of, which we're a member of, is Minnesota. They just have a plethora of information. And then, there, as I already mentioned, a whole bunch of stakeholders that would be in this that all have either really made previous statements or have chimed in one way or the other of things that they look for in legislation like this. We really want to just build a good consumer experience, right? I mean, this already flagrantly happens. I'm in fantasy football leagues. People do all of this all the time, and it's really underground, and we really need to shine some light on it, be transparent about it, put some guardrails around it, and really have a good consumer experience for folks. This isn't about balancing a budget. We have in the ongoing years, we have a projected deficit. This is not going to solve that. You don't do this. You don't legalize marijuana. You don't legalize fireworks, all of which I'm in favor of. You don't do that to solve a budget problem. You just don't. It's not going to generate that kind of revenue. But we should stop criminalizing it and put protections around it. The other thing I would say is this state has a lot of professional teams and a lot of leagues, both men and women. And so we host a lot of games, a lot of big tournaments. We've had the Super Bowl. We're slated to get that in the years to come, maybe the draft, NCAA tournaments. This will all enhance that experience for people that are coming all over the country to participate in those events. So, again, I just think the economic activity will be helpful, but the consumer experience will be beneficial to those that host those events.
Right. I mean, e-gaming is just not going away. It's just on the rise. I mean, there's so many aspects of this. And I think, I'm just saying as a policy standpoint, it makes sense to be proactive versus reactive to what could come around the corner, right?
Well, and Iowa does it. So people are spending a lot of time doing that. And we're better than Iowa. And our bill will be better than Iowa. And we know that. And South Dakota, again, is building their program, but it's been authorized by their voters in Deadwood. And then, my God, if Wisconsin would beat us to this, I don't even know what to think. And so I really just feel the time is now. We certainly can multitask. I've seen people say we don't have time for this, or, this, that, or the other thing, or don't you have other things to work on? Well, no, we can, do multiple things at once. We are actually used to doing complex, legislation. And so it isn't a matter of, having time. It's a matter of whether we're going to prioritize it. And so I really do feel that the market is going to drive this discussion. And
so people should really get in touch with their legislators. Senator Bigham, you've been on this show now, the duration of this show, 8.5 years, in your different roles as representative, as county commissioner, now as senator. I don't think I've ever heard you as fired up about something. And you by no means are a lack of energy guest. So I know it just sounds like you have put so much time and research, and that's the key, research into this. You're not.
I want to solve an issue. I mean, part of our jobs as legislators is giving people what they want. And the public is definitely on our side in this. And the market is actually driving this. I think of it as the Wayfair tax. And for your listeners, the Wayfair tax, it was a lawsuit on online purchases. So we knew that people were, obviously in Minnesota, we had a policy, we weren't taxing online purchases. So Amazon and all these, up until a few years ago when the Wayfair decision came. So we know there's a pot of money out there. Let's get it.
Let's get some of that money. Let's not give it to Wisconsin, as you're pointing out.
Or Iowa or South Dakota or wherever. So let's grab that. And we know that it really is a lot like that. And so I appreciate you pointing out that I'm fired up about it, but I'm fired up about being able to, I think, try to land this plane in a way that everybody gets business opportunities involved in it. And that's going to be for our local economy here. But we really just need to not be last to do this. And it's really past due. And those consumer protections are very important, and we should do that.
And we will follow this on the show, including those who are worried about addiction. I am very happy to have addiction prevention, gambling addiction prevention folks on, or people to share their story. Before we let you go, though, quick comment on the St. Paul Park Marathon Refinery strike. What's up there?
Sure. So I stand with the Teamster 120 Marathon workers in solidarity with their desire to get a fair contract from Marathon Refinery. It's a safety issue. They are out on strike. They're going on week 3 now, and they just really deserve a fair contract. It's about not subcontracting out workers that aren't as trained as our professional Teamsters that are in that refinery. You know, I've worked there. My father worked there for 42 years, so I have personal experience there. My neighbors worked there, people I went to high school with. And we're, a lot of us are townies where we were born and raised and we still live here. And that place is dangerous if not run safely. And we need the best trained folks doing that. And we can't have a company who deals with hydrofluoric acid contracting out positions that, aren't as well trained as our folks here in Minnesota. So
you're saying it's really also a safety issue for the community, for the state.
Yeah. You know, to be fair, I don't even think it's a wage issue. It's not. I mean, it's a safety issue for our community and for those workers, and more importantly, also our local economy. You start contracting out those jobs and bringing in out-of-state workers, you're costing local jobs, and that's not good, and that's not what we want. And the safety is of utmost importance to our community and to those workers.
All right, Senator Karla Bigham, a lot to say. We could talk another half hour or more with you.
Absolutely.
We hope you stay in touch on this sports gambling topic, and good luck there. I mean, I don't have as strong of a horse in the race as you, but you make some really, really great points, and we will track it, and we'll have you back, and I invite the people who are opposed to it also to come on. Have a really great Sunday. Thanks for being with us, Senator.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.